We are back. This is the Now Morning Show here on TTT, also on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. And we're in the season of Lent here, and I'm here with two representatives from the National Catholic Men's Ministry. And we're going to speak with Matthew Hall, who's a committee member, and also Peter Timothy, who is also a committee member. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
And well, happy Lenten season.
Same to you.
All right, so the National Catholic Men's Ministry, we were talking about it a little while ago, and you said it was reorganized and restructured. What was the format before, and what have you changed it into now?
Well, throughout the Archdiocese, you've had men's groups, and there was the National Catholic Men's Movement, right? And recently, in an attempt to revitalize and reorganize men's ministry in the church and in the Archdiocese, a small committee brought together, liaising with men who were involved in men's ministry before, and the end result, after consultation and discussion, was the development of the revitalization of men's ministry, and the movement is now called the National Catholic Men's Ministry.
Why did you see a need to revitalize? What was it that you needed to change to make it better?
One of the things that we recognized was that we had to change and boost our approach in reaching out to men. I mean, if you go through churches throughout Trinidad and Tobago, women outnumber the men. Generally, all right? And especially in the Roman Catholic Church. Therefore, we saw that there was a need to look again at how do we approach men, how do we get men involved, how do we make men realize that they have to take up their rightful place in the church, and mirroring to their sons and those who are in their charge that religion and prayer is not something for just mommy and the sisters, but that men too are involved in religious activities.
Also, right. So Matthew, what's sorry to cut you off.
There are a lot of societal ills that can be linked to men, and the lack of male involvement, the lack of men rising up to be leaders, and the National Catholic Men's Ministry, as a result, thought that we needed to do something different. The old format of men's ministry, men's groups, wasn't working, wasn't being effective. We weren't reaching men, we weren't helping them enough to become the men that we think that God is calling us to be, really.
All right, so what are you going to do different now, moving forward?
Moving forward, we would like, well, first of all, we'll be launching the ministry next Tuesday, Tuesday 19th, at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception at 5 p.m.
Right.
Following there, we intend to get involved. We have a lot of men on the ground right now being trained, being formed, and this training and forming, which Peter will be able to talk about, is helping men to understand their role and their call as men, to be leaders, to be good husbands, good fathers, good sons, brothers, good everything, good customer service representatives, good everything
right.
in the society today.
All right, so how are you going to go about, who are the examples that you're going to have as the teachers to actually help basically train these men into, you know, as you're saying, the type of leaders and the type of men that they need to be today?
Well, once you're dealing with a Christian concept and context, the example, of course, is Jesus. And what we try to do with regard to the training is to help people to understand that in living our lives today, what do we need to do to emulate Jesus? When you look at St. Paul in the scripture says, imitate me as I imitate Christ. So therefore, it's to help people to understand in our context today, what do we do to say that if someone sees you, they will say that you remind me of Jesus. How do I resemble Jesus? How do I bring Jesus to my children, in the home, in the way that I act? The Christian life has to be lived. And therefore, the idea is to help men to understand that it is important for us to mirror to those, especially our children and so on, the importance of living a life of integrity, the importance of being a prayerful person, the importance of ensuring that what you say, you actually live that, right? And you're not living a double life or a double standard.
Yeah. Matthew, you're a young guy, and you know many times you see younger men, especially, you don't see them very much interest. You will see some, of course, but you know a large majority are living secular lives. And how do you, you know, from your perspective, because you're one of the few, you know, how would you, from your perspective, intend on reaching out to young men, especially, to get them back into church or get them to church in the first place?
Yeah. Well, the first thing we have to do, or we started doing it already, is trying to understand the mind of the millennial and the current generation. It is far different, and a lot of the church's approaches and techniques are geared towards older generations right now. So at the moment, we're trying to do different studies, read up research, talk to guys my age, talk to myself included, just to try to understand how we think and how we operate, and what is it that we really desire or would want to see from a movement like this or in church in general. So with that research, hopefully we'll be able to understand and then better formulate programs, ministry, get towards young people, young men in particular.
Yeah, definitely. You know, as I said, it's, you know, getting the young people involved, because again, the youth are the future, and having the older generation teach them and bring them up in the way so they could therefore in turn teach the younger ones that, and is a sustainable system.
Program,
you know.
One thing I'd say that definitely is new, which we have discussed and we've all agreed, is that as we move forward with this National Catholic Men's Ministry, that we are going to establish a presence in our Roman Catholic boys' schools. We're starting off because of the numbers, first with the secondary schools, but the idea is to have a presence in all the schools, the boys' schools in particular, moving finally to the primary schools. Because if we want to form, as what we say, the ideal Catholic man, we have to start as early as possible.
All right. Well, Matthew Hall and Peter Timothy, thank you very much. We were speaking about the National Catholic Men's Ministry. You know, really excited about your revamp and your launch, which is on Tuesday. Could you repeat to me where the location is?
Tuesday the 19th, 5 p.m. at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception.
All right. I wish you the very best.